What's up, everybody? Rene Rodriguez with the Long Story Longer podcast, and we're back with episode 24. Bringing back today's guest, letters from wolves, Adam, Bryan, and Andrea. Thanks for making it back to the podcast, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Again, dude.
It's a hell of a drive from. You live in the far northeast,
At the edge of the Northeast, dude.
and
Yeah,
I forgot
so
where y'all live
have
at.
to pack
Far
a lunch
East.
to come out
Far
here.
East.
I mean, yeah, Zaragoza area.
Okay, cool. So not too bad compared to Adam. I think the last time I took a trek over to Adam's house for my T-shirts, it was a 45-minute drive. But I drive like an old lady, so I don't speed much. So
Same.
yeah, I can't afford giving the government free money for me being in a hurry is the reason I don't speed. So the last time I had you guys on here was about 8 months ago. What have you guys been up to since?
Um, After Adam finished recording our first album, Resurrect, we got right into our second album.
Right.
Unfortunately for Adam, he came into the band with lots of work, but he got through it. And we finished our second album, and it's called
It's called Immortals.
Immortals.
That's a strong title, man. I like that title. I meant to say that earlier when we were messaging. I like that title for sure.
Yeah, there's a couple of reasons why we landed on that record title. There's a few songs that subject matters like sort of fantasy in that realm. So we started leaning towards that. I brought the title to the table to the guys and like, that sounds good. And the way that I explained it to Bryan too is that our songs, our music is like when I'm long gone. You share the same sentiment. That's gonna be our legacy. That's gonna be artifacts of what we left behind. So in a way, the songs are immortal. So yeah, it made sense for the record.
Oh yeah, that's a very kind of makes me wonder from what we talked about recently with the name letters from wolves based on a video game reference, Final Fantasy, right?
Yeah.
Immortals to me gives me somewhat of a video game vibe as well, and not just that, other stuff too. I can't think of right off the top of my head, but yeah, man, I like that title. It's a strong title. It's a precursor to the strong music behind it, I would assume.
Oh yeah.
I would say so. Yeah, definitely a different style for us coming into this second record. Not a complete departure of the previous record, but a different era, a little bit different style. So I mean, Bryan can expand more on that, but
Yeah. Resurrect was just music I've had sitting there for a really, really long time. So I think it reflects. I mean, it's music I've had 2014, 2015, and it pretty much reflects that
Hmm.
era. But with Immortals, I think I found a sound. Like I found the tone for the guitars. The writing style with the riffs. That is me now. So and then of course add killer drums and killer vocals, and we found our sound finally. So
Perfect. And as far as the changes to your sound, what's different from the previous album?
um, the best way I say it, there's a lot of musical maturity.
Hmm.
Um, Back then, and it reflects well in Resurrect. I was really just into metalcore
Hmm.
as a purist, and I think it really did showcase that. This time around, I got into darker sounding, lower tuning guitars, and um, you know I went from a 6 string to a 7 string. So this full album's basically a 7 string album,
Hmm.
and I my musical um, what's the best way to say it? Like my
your taste.
yeah, my taste and the bands that I look up to now went from like August Burns Red, which was metalcore grandfathers there, to more gent, more technical, weird sounds and
Hmm.
stuff like that. So it's more like After the Burial or Tesseract, Before I Turn, just deeper sounding, darker sounding stuff.
So with the gent stuff, so maybe you can explain it better to me because I still can't figure it out. Because I used to have a Line Six guitar amp with a bunch of built-in effects on it, and what I loved on it was it had two effects that were based on John Frusciante.
Mm.
without saying John Frusciante right from the Peppers. Yeah, I think it just said FRSC,
Yeah.
so I assumed it was John Frusciante, and it sounded just like his style for sure. But the two gent options that I had on there were very low to where I could barely hear them. So I never quite understood that or what I was getting wrong from that.
So most of those like presets,
Hmm.
a lot of gent, especially early gent, starts with a lo-fi,
Hmm.
far sounding guitar
Okay.
to bring in the song.
Okay.
And usually it's like a higher octave, and then when the whole band kicks in, it's the low octave and it's going. But what people, I mean, if you're new to it and you're trying to recreate it as a guitarist, what you don't realize is it's very low gain and very percussive. So you got to pick hard to bring the sound out. You got to be very percussive, and then that's what brings the sound out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah, I never quite figured it out, and that's a better explanation for it for sure. And then also not just letters from wolves, but following you on social media, you just released a clip of you playing what you considered a different style of rock music.
Oh yeah.
Dude, I loved it, bro.
Thanks, man.
It sounded amazing. I was like, this is legit, bro. Like,
Yeah.
I want to hear, of course, I want to hear more letters from wolves, but I want to hear more of that too. And I know you've got your own vision as to what you're going to do with that.
Yeah.
But is that something that's going to make its way towards letters from wolves music as well, or?
No. With that, it's just like a little solo thing.
Mm-hmm.
I wanna. This one was inspired heavily by like Rain City Drive,
Mm-hmm.
alternative type of rock. I know he wanted to do like some really deathcore stuff, so I'm doing that so he can showcase his range there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's gonna be a whole separate thing. Only because when it comes to the wolves, I am writing so much so fast that I don't think we're gonna have to pull from my
Okay.
solo stuff. And then my solo stuff is gonna be very very niche, very very different. That it
Mm-hmm.
would never interfere or cross with any wolf catalog.
Yeah, it just sounded very, very atmospheric to me and very melodic for sure. I was like, wow, that's pretty. I mean, your guitar playing even on Letters from Wolves is amazing, but that to me was like that hits my ears. Sonically different
Yeah.
is what I mean.
Hmm. Well,
Like I
because
loved it.
growing up, one of my favorite bands was Circa Survive.
Mm-hmm.
I love indie ambient
Mm-hmm.
rock. So that's something that I love to listen to it. Why not write a song like it or do something in that realm? But that's more for like my Instagram, a YouTube channel,
Mm-hmm.
to just kind of showcase that I can be a one man band. But yeah, that's just its own thing when
You're a
it comes. It
thousand.
comes.
You're a thousand trick pony, not
Yeah.
just a one trick pony. Yeah.
Well, he does play 13 different instruments.
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of people know that.
Well, 14 now.
Oh, the skin flute, I guess.
Yeah,
But
that's what you want to call it.
yeah, but extending on that idea a little bit, I'm glad because I admire this guy so much. Like when I joined the band and everything, he's just an incredible musician.
Right.
But I'm really glad that the stuff he's doing solo is so different from
Mm-hmm.
Letters from Wolves because I get kind of annoyed when somebody does like a solo thing and it sounds just like their band. Like, why would you do that? Like, just take it, to the band. So I appreciate when any solo artist is like, well, this is something that I do, and it's completely different, from their main project.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Bryan, in his head, he has sort of a blueprint of what the Wolves should sound like.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's why he kind of went outside of that realm a little bit, and he showed it to me. I'm like, oh man, like I freaking love this style. If you do this style too, so it's badass. But yeah, just to make that little comment, like I I don't see the point when somebody does something solo and it's like, oh, like Frusciante for instance, like his stuff is off the wall, like outside of the Peppers. So and it's cool to see people doing different stuff.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
It's
And then
me
with-
more catering to my ADHD.
Mhm.
Like I just can't contain it. Like I might as well use it.
Like one of the songs actually that's gonna be on a record was like just a side thing for him. It's still I mean it's a metal song, but it was a song that he wrote for one of his dogs, and he showed it to all of us, and we're like, dude, are you fucking kidding me? This should be on the record. Like it's probably the heaviest song on the record, but it's I don't want to call it a parody, but it is like a joke song.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't pay attention to like the lyrics, you're like, damn, this is a brutal song. But he showed it to me, and I'm like, dude, we got to put that on the record. So
And that was you with the lyrics too, or
Yeah, that's kind of how we found out I could scream too. It was literally we have a dog named Gypsy, the little Chihuahua mix,
right?
and this little shit when she hears the doorbell goes crazy. So of course, living with it, I'm like, shut the fuck up already. And there's this YouTube channel. He's called Rockstar, where he does like funny voiceovers for dogs and cats and stuff like that, arguing with their owners. And I was like, maybe I should write a song about her hate for just noise in general. And I did, and it was just like, it's really heavy. I mean, I still wouldn't consider it at the time like what Wolves does,
Mm-hmm.
because it's that much heavier. But then they were in love with it. They were like, dude, this is sick. So I was like, fuck it, let's put it on there. But I had him basically, retrack all the
Mm-hmm.
screams. But that's when he was like, hey, you're not that bad, man.
yeah, like I re-recorded what he did like on the track, but I told him like you need to leave some of your stuff in because we kind of discovered that our voices go well with each other by doing that, and from that song we actually ended up putting some of his voice on the rest of the record.
Mm-hmm.
So it was kind of funny how that worked out. Like it was just he's like, well, just re-record the stuff that I did, and we did it. But he would play his track initially for me to follow it, and I'm like, dude, those sound good together.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, so leave them both, and we ended up doing that like for different songs where I have a lot of range as far as my screaming goes, but of course I'm always gonna sound like me, so you can always expand and like, oh well, he has a different scream than I am, so I'm like, well, let's try and put yours on this part or with me on this part. So it ended up working out pretty cool that we
Metal harmonizing.
yeah, that we put
Yep.
some extra stuff of his on the record as well.
And then I mean, from there it branched into different songs, and I remember there was a couple takes where I was like, I wanted you to do that like that 2000s emo where it's like a kind of a sing yell
It's
into
like
a
a
scream.
shout, like a shout.
Yeah.
I would call it like a shout,
And
but
you weren't happy with yours, so I was like, well, let me try it, and it worked. So no, I'm really happy with the contrast of
yeah,
both of our voices on there.
And one of the things that I love, I noticed that the first time you guys came onto the show, and then I see it again now, is whenever you guys are talking about the way you guys collaborate, you guys are on the same brainwave. Like I see you guys reacting to whatever each one of you is saying, and you guys are in that same playing field. It's
yeah. I mean, very.
that same train of thought.
We've been working together since 24. I mean,
Yeah,
and
2024.
me and Bryan work very intimately in the studio together.
Giggity.
I won't say how intimately, but
I walk into some stuff I don't
yeah,
want
she walks in and walks out. So, but like there's been other. Obviously, I've been doing music for a long. We've all been doing music for a long time, and you get comfortable with people, but like the way you put it, we've started, I guess, think alike, and
Yeah.
we've just found a flow, I guess, a way to work together, and it's funny because even if I do something that I may be happy with, he'll be like, he's like, maybe you can do it better. Or, so we have a very good working relationship, like where we can tell each other, like, dude, I think you can do something better or something cooler. Or like even that solo song that he is working on putting out, he sent different revisions to me. I'm like, maybe you can shorten it, or maybe you can add like a lead or something. And I won't like tell him, hey, well, let me play a guitar part, but I'll tell him like, I hear something like this in my head, and he sent me something back. I'm like, fuck, that's genius. But I guess it's just like we do think alike, but of course, we think differently at the same time. So we value each other's ideas and input. But yeah, I mean, we've gotten to the point where it's like sometimes it's even unspoken.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I have something in my head. He's like, dude, I was thinking the same thing. So we really have gotten comfortable, and probably the easiest musician I've found to work with in the studio.
It only helps the music all in all.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I do make it a point. I mean, I've told it to her, and to Adam that being in the band it's not just about being in the band together and then deuces, we'll see you later, split ways. I really do put an emphasis on hanging out, being friends,
Mm-hmm.
because it helps the music.
Right.
I mean, so we do band cooks. We just had a band cookout yesterday, just to hang out,
Mm-hmm.
bring in the new year, because we did take a break and we're like, hey, families first, spend time with them. We'll recollect sometime in January, and just kind of go over as a like a agenda for 2026 as a
Mm-hmm.
band. But it's always, let's hang out, let's hang out. It doesn't always have to be about music. And then we live together, so we have the same brain. And then not only are we in the same band, but we also work together.
Mm-hmm.
So the whole, we don't even have to say anything. We just look at each other. Sometimes gets us almost in trouble. But no, I mean it. Even from the first time that he came over to, you know, I guess you can call it an
It
audition.
was it was a, pretty much an
Yeah,
audition. It was an audition, but it was sort of like a we're all hoping this is gonna work. This is just to make sure it's gonna work.
yeah.
So
It was instant chemistry though, like
Mm-hmm.
complete between, because it was just us three that day.
Yeah. Well, technically, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it was just us two. He came.
yeah,
But yeah, so I'm kind of the picky one with vocals, and we had quite a few people send in like their little tryouts, and I'm
Right.
like, I need to hear it in person. So when Adam came and he started tracking it, like I text him, like we were texting, we are like, yeah, yeah, okay, yeah, you want to join the band, type of deal. So.
And it was like three verses in, we were like, oh okay,
Oh yeah,
this is gonna work.
Because you do got to be selective. Because I mean, no disrespect to anybody out there. I mean, but to find the right vocalist, because how often do you see a band where the music is great
Yep.
and the vocalist is there, maybe, but
Not what they need.
not
Yep.
what they need.
I
Yeah.
completely agree. And that, what I love that she pays attention to, even as a drummer, her thing is the vocalist
Vocals.
and the content
Mm-hmm.
they're singing about. So that was one of her main things. Like, if it doesn't, it might pass your check, but it might not pass my check, type of thing. Me, I am so bad with lyrics, dude. I don't remember anything. Like, I make up some shit when I'm trying to sing along to something. I'm hopeless, but I can hear a song once and in 10 years remember what the beat was.
Right.
So that's my thing. I listen to the drums, I listen to the bass. What is that doing? Even as a guitarist, it's like drums and bass first. What are the meat and potatoes doing? And is the guitarist really complementing that? So
And then not just with the vocals, but everybody in the band. I mean, clearly you guys are together, so that's already checked off the list. But everybody else in the band, you got to make sure, like you're saying with the band cookouts, you guys get along outside of the music.
oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because you could have the best focus, and if he acted like a piece of shit on the side, would you want that?
I mean,
No.
I do
It makes the
once-
music sound great.
once
But
in a while I act like a piece
So-
of shit, but
They also have to pass the vibe check.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
exactly,
are you,
exactly.
And he did. I mean,
instantly?
he
Yeah.
fell into my lap, giggity, so fast, dude. So
No pants.
metaphorically and literally.
yeah.
No, but in all honesty, like, when I came in to the band, we had a very in-depth conversation before I even went over to audition, and I think from that we already knew that we're on the same wavelength and everything. So it was just a matter of me going in to sort of confirm that their energy was the same, like in person, as it was like through a text. Because you can talk to somebody all day long, and then you meet them, you're like, wow, this person is not what I, built up in my head.
It's a musical catfishing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
for sure.
but yeah, I mean, I since that first time, we're like, all right, cool. Like,
Right.
this is good to go. Let's do it. So ever since then, I can't say there's been really any big fights or any complications or anything since we started working together. We're all always sort of on the same page. Like, we'll do votes on decisions and stuff, but it's never like, oh, I've never been upset at these guys. There's been other projects where I've towards a certain member, I'm like, man, like, I don't know why this person is being so difficult, or but in this group it's never really been that at all. So it's been pretty easy.
Yeah, we really strive for drama-free environment. We just don't. The way I see it, we're too old for that shit.
Yeah.
We just want to focus music and that's it. Like we don't have time for petty little shit fights or
Mm-hmm.
anything.
Right.
It's for the love of the craft, really.
Mm-hmm. For the love of the craft and wherever it takes you.
Yep.
Because again, for that journey, it's best if you guys get along
Hmm.
and love each other ultimately.
Oh yeah.
I mean, the ultimate goal, right, is always, get to that level where you're on the road, or, where you have to really exist with each other a lot of the time. So I would say it's definitely a good idea to attempt that with people that you like and get along with. So,
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
so yeah, I mean, so far so good.
Before you get on that van and take that road trip for a
Yeah,
show somewhere.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
and
their
sports.
gases. Yeah.
So yeah, we already know each other's internal brands and
What
everything.
did
Oh
Adam
yeah.
I
have for
think
dinner?
yeah.
Oh,
So
there was a few sessions on Immortals where I was like, you had to gas me out, huh? Yep.
there's been some close calls.
Yeah.
Thankfully, the bathroom is right across the hall. So
I
if I
still
ever, if
remember.
I ever
He's
had
like,
to run in there,
"Hey man, maybe I should go take a shit because I feel like I'm holding back."
there was one session where he told me, he's like, "Ah, there's like something missing, dude. Like that power is not there." And I told him like, I may be holding back because I'm afraid I'm gonna shit myself right now. And he's like, "Go take a shit." So literally, I was like, give me 5 minutes." So I went in the bathroom and did my thing, and I came back, and he's like, "Yep, that was the problem."
Hmm.
He's like, "You're
You're a
hitting that
loser.
brutalness again." So he's like, "You need to take a shit, dude." So yeah, it was funny,
Yeah.
Whatever works.
man.
And there was a lot like that on this new album where he, let me just try something. It might not work. It might be stupid. But let's see. And it never backfired.
Yeah, most of the time it worked out.
Yep.
Um,
He
yeah,
did get nervous on certain things that she had to say, "Nah, stop pussing out. Like we're keeping it in."
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because it
Yeah.
was gold. But
There's a he continues to surprise me with his vocal capacity. So there's actually some things in there that I feel like people are gonna be like, "That's Adam."
yeah, and it's funny because Brian always tells me that Andy's super picky about vocal stuff. So I did a part, and I was happy with it. I was cool with it, but I thought she would think it was dumb. So I told Brian like, if you want to take it out, take it out. And he took it out, and Andy was the one that came back like, "What the fuck, dude? Like that part is good. You need to own it and keep it in." So we ended up keeping it in. So
well, I lost it, so he had to
that's
redo
right.
it.
That's
Yeah.
right. I told him like, "No, you know what? Just get rid of it." So he deleted it, and he told me, he's like, "No, I should be able to get it back." And then he was like, "Nope." He's like, "I couldn't recover it, so you have to come and do it again." So I'm like, "That's cool, dude. I remembered what I did." So, but yeah, so that was cool. So there'll be a couple of surprises on the new record for sure.
Yeah, I. It's definitely night and day from Resurrect to Immortals.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I said. There's a lot of musical maturity. A lot of it has to come with me getting so used to the DAW and really knowing and having a relationship with my instrument. Um, Getting used to more like accepting what my brain wants out of
Mm-hmm.
something. Because sometimes I just don't trust myself, and I don't delete per se anything. I just kind of put it through a check first. Most of the time, I bring them a song and they're like, "No, that's it." Every once in a while, I get a, "The fuck is that?" or "You could do better than that." So I'll work or rework some stuff. But I think this one there wasn't really too many edits.
As far as the actual structure of the song,
Yeah,
I don't think so.
no,
I remember them pretty much staying how you originally wrote them.
yeah,
The only thing that really kind of made the music, different is the vocal stuff that we did.
yep.
And I'll like expand a little bit more on that. This batch of music already existed when I joined, when I started working
Right.
on
I
the
remember that.
first record. So I had heard that batch, and I wanted to. I was like, dude, I want to work on that stuff like now. And they're like, no, we have this first record. We want to. For them, it was like this is something that we need to complete. Like this is what we've been working on, so we want to finish that. So we finished that record. We played shows on it, and then eventually we started working on what is now Immortals. But for me, it was definitely a challenge because I really like. I mean, to begin with, the first record I really liked it. Like even just before I joined the band, I heard it and I was a fan. But this whole new batch of music, I was like, "Fuck, dude! Like it's next level stuff." So it was a challenge for me because I had to try and go vocally places that I've never really gone before.
Correct.
So it was a challenge, and I was kind of afraid of it, like for a while. But we started sessions, and it was weird, man. It just kind of started coming.
A gel.
Yeah, like there's some stuff that I like melodically. I would work out parts in my head, but I don't think I went in on any song with lyrics written. So we would go in for sessions and he would put a song on repeat, like a verse or a chorus or something. And I would just start singing melodies until something would hit, and then I would start piecing stuff together. So I was afraid to approach this record. Like I didn't know if I was going to live up to the actual music. And I just personally wanted to outdo anything that I had previously done. So I put a very high expectation on myself. But yeah, little by little, each session, I think we accomplished that.
And it's good that you've got Andrea being upfront about everything with the vocals and the guitar, because you don't want her to just be, or anybody to just be within the band, to just be your yes man. Or...
Yeah, because Bryan and I, we would sit in the room, we would work the shit out, so our ears, all the work that we put into it, we'd be like, no, this is it. Like, it's done. But it did help to have that last opinion to be like, I mean, yeah, it's good. Or nah, it's not good enough. So it's definitely good to have that other ear, like I said, because me and Bryan would sit and work on the stuff, and once you put that work in, you get probably emotionally attached to it. Like, no, that's it. Like, I'm done. And I don't think it happened much where you said like, nah, that shit needs to be redone.
Nah, not vocally. Besides that one part you wanted out, and I was like, hell no, you're putting that back in there. But just a couple of times, I think with
guitar parts.
The guitar parts. Yeah. Obviously, we live together, so I get to hear everything 1st. So I'm his first critic. I'm like, yeah, that's great, or no, that's not Wolf material. You could do better.
Yeah, there was actually, as a matter of fact, there was a completed song in this batch of music, and I loved it, but it got voted out of the record. They're like, no, this is not a Wolf song. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? I love that song. But it's just, it was a little bit different in style, so we ended up, pulling it off.
But I think that one's gonna, in the future, get reworked a little bit just to make it more of a Wolf song. But no, yeah, there was a few riffs here and there that she was like, nah, that doesn't even make sense, or it's too repetitive, or whatever. On one of the songs, though, I took it as, all right, fuck you then. And I wrote something so crazy that she was like, oh, fuck, that's sick, but goddamn, like... So
I screwed myself on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bryan was like, oh, so you don't think it's good enough, huh? I'm going to give you a riff then.
I'll see.
Yeah.
So I riffed the shit out of it. But I never take, and this is what I love about, everyone in the band, that no one takes shit personally. Yeah. It's not like, oh, well, fuck you. No. It's like, we're saying these things to make the music better, to make the band better.
The final product.
Yeah. And it does work, but, there's a lot of times where she's like, you can do better than that. You can do better than that. And after a while, I was like, you know what? We're going to make that a tag. So you're going to hear her in a song or two, meh, you can do better than that. So.
Yeah, I mean, we can talk about that little clip. So at the end of one of the songs on the record, there's literally a voiceover from Andrea, and she's literally saying, meh, you can do better than that.
Yeah.
But really fast, because I'm nervous.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
But that's why it works.
And it's so fucking cool because, like, it was just it was like a sarcastic thing, like, well, you know what, record yourself saying that shit, and he put it on the track, and it was on the last track. I think we had a little ending speaking part that I did,
Yeah.
or it was a fuck up.
Yeah, it was a fuck
It was
up.
a vocal
Yeah.
fuck up, but we left it at the end of the track. So they were like, well, you know, I don't know, we already did that, but it's just so fucking cool. I'm like, no, dude, we have to leave that little clip in. So, and it's so funny because it's like a quirky little thing, but it's at the end of like one of our heaviest songs.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, the song dissolves and then you hear this little voiceover. So it's funny as shit. Yeah.
But does it have the same impact on the spot when you record it purposely?
Well,
Or
the reason why it works is because she's never gotten behind the mic
right?
Well,
for
not for
music.
this.
Yeah, like especially in the studio. And I told her, all right, just say it. And she said it like 100 miles per hour. She's like, man, you gotta do better than that. And I was like, what? Do it again. And she did it again, but it was still fast. And I was like, that's good enough. So I, just cut it in the right spots. And the song is hard. It goes really, really hard, but it does do like a fade out a little bit. And then, a little bit in the distance. Man, you can do better than that. So it worked.
It's
It
like,
worked.
like one of my favorite things on
Yeah.
the record. It's,
I didn't want it on there,
Yeah.
but you know.
Like even
I
when
got
you
overloaded.
finish tracking vocals to it, when we do the listen backs, we waited for that part just to get the kick out of it because it's the perfect impact to the end of that song. It really, really is.
because that song really goes hard, but it's like us jokingly saying like, man, it was alright.
Yeah, basically.
I imagine now every time you listen to it, you're just waiting for that one moment.
Yeah.
And you'll hear eventually you'll hear it and
Yeah.
you'll see exactly what we're talking.
You'll
about,
see our
so-
faces. We'll be like,
Yeah.
ah.
And this new album has how many tracks on it?
10.
10.
Yeah.
10 tracks. To our
One's an intro, one's like an interlude.
so
A
there's
palate cleanser.
so there's 8 tracks with vocals.
Yeah.
And 2 of the tracks are instrumental.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but 10 songs on the record. So yeah.
Yeah. It's because on Resurrect I had 1836. It was an intro to the album. That record also had a video game reference. Keep mashing X, you'll run faster. We're both hardcore gamers, so as catalogs come out, as music comes out, you will keep seeing video game references.
Good.
And I think it's okay to say it, but the intro to this album is called Press Circle to Crouch, because a lot of new games you hit circle to crouch, and that starts off the album. And then the other one, I don't know what possessed me to do it, but I picked up an acoustic guitar, and there's an acoustic track on it with some cool drum and bass in the background, and I really thought, oh, this is a cool palate cleanser. There's a bunch of shit in the middle, this out of nowhere, and then let's end it with you'll grow gray hairs by the end of it.
So yeah, I mean, our intention is for people pretty much to listen to the whole record. I hope they do.
Yes.
So yeah, that song lands like right around the middle point of the sequence. So yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I could easily say, Adam touched on it a little bit earlier, but when he was saying, giggity, when he was saying, he was really nervous about his approach. On my side of it, I wasn't worried, to be honest with you. I really wasn't worried. He blew me away with Resurrect. It was more of, I can't fucking wait to see what this guy does. And every session, I'd be like, the first song he did, I was like, you completely topped everything you did on the last one.
And I imagine to some extent you're also like, you can probably kind of hear what he's going to sing over it without even talking to him yet.
Sometimes, yeah.
And then he might match that, or he might even supersede that, I imagine.
Yep. And every song he finished, I was like, you killed that other one. You killed that other one. You keep outdoing yourself. You keep outdoing yourself. There was only one song where I loved what you did, but you weren't convinced. So, we went back. I was like, you know what? Just sit with it. We'll, we'll come back next week and we'll see what we do. And going back to it was the best thing ever, because now it's like, oh yeah, this is gold. But yeah, he literally outdid, and his vocal range allows me to do whatever the fuck I want, as far as when I'm putting a song together, riffs, because he can do it all. So, Yeah, I mean, I write pretty freely, knowing that he can. And the cool thing is when I hear like a song when it's gonna, I think, oh, it's gonna probably be 80% screaming. He sings where I wouldn't ever think you can sing, and it's so cool to hear a metal song with a bunch of syncopated parts, and
Hmm.
he's just singing instead of screaming over it. And I know the first album it was mostly screaming. This time it's actually mostly singing. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I sort of, you know, I sort of took that approach on purpose because I wanted to do unexpected things.
Right.
Like you hear a heavy verse and you're like, oh, somebody's gonna kick in, screaming. So I was like, I would tell Bryan like, no, dude, I'm gonna sing this verse, and he's like, really? I'm like, yeah, let me work on it. We would work the melodies and shit, and I purposely did stuff in places that shouldn't work because I wanted to do something different as far as the music went, but even as far as myself, um, even just the melodies and stuff. I'm like, I want to do stuff I've never done before, style wise, and the record did end up being primarily clean vocals, but I can say that the screaming on this record, I took it to the next level
Oh
as
yeah.
well. Like there's some deep stuff, and there's ranges that I'd never tried before. And like Bryan mentioned earlier, that I would tell him like, I'm gonna try something, dude. Like if it doesn't work, obviously we'll just scrap it. But if it works, I've always told him like, dude, this is either gonna be really good or it's gonna fucking suck. I'm like, but either way, let's try it. So I tried to expand a lot of what I do, and it worked out like really well. So it was cool. For me, it was just that I wanted to push myself to do better than I'd ever done. I wanted to do different shit, and most of all, I wanted to serve each song.
Hmm.
Like I'm not a guy to come in and be like, hey, look at me, listen to me, everything. I wanted to serve the songs, and the approach that I take is that my voice is another instrument in the band. It's
Oh,
not
for
like
sure.
it's not like, oh, I'm gonna put my shit here. You guys turn me up, more than everybody else, and I wrote like if I was on another instrument. So we worked it that way, and there's even parts where there's no vocals.
Yeah.
Like there's parts where the music breathes. There's maybe like some orchestral parts where I'm like, no, I'm gonna leave that part alone. Not only that, I mean that helps me live too to catch my breath.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But yeah, I mean, I approached some parts differently. I didn't want us to sound like every other band out there. I mean, don't get me wrong. The majority, 90% of the music I listen to is screaming shit, is metalcore, gent, all that stuff. So I love all of that music. That's my stuff. But I wanted to differentiate us, as much as I could. So I'm really, really excited. Like I've been listening to the songs since we completed them. Right now they're out for mixing and mastering, so we're
Okay.
not 100% on what they're gonna sound like finalized. But obviously we have them, our versions of what we've done, and even going beyond that, like even with the last record, when I got my Spotify Wrapped, my top band was my band,
Hmm.
and I felt so stupid, like I'm like a top fan, but I really am because I love listening to our shit. So now I listen to our new record like so much too, and I'm just so excited. Like I really want to hear what other people
Yeah.
think about it too. So I'm really curious to see what the opinion is once we release that music.
Yeah, my wrap up to YouTube was Eagles football, a channel I watch, and long story longer.
See, there you go. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, some other people might be like, "Dude, what kind of narcissist are you, or what?" Or I'm like, "No, I really genuinely am a fan of like. It's pretty cool to actually separate yourself and listen to the music. Like, it's good shit." So
Yeah, I love listening to my music too, but with a podcast, like I was listening to the most recent one, and I'm listening to myself saying, I lost this word at the moment of, and I meant to say this word or whatever. So I catch myself. I'm like, I better use that word on the next one, maybe.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's a way to improve on
Oh, for
yourself
sure.
too. Like even for me, half the reason why I listen to our music is like, oh, we have a show coming up. I got to remember my lyrics. So
Hmm.
I'll rehearse in the car to our songs too. So that's I play it off of
Actually,
Spotify.
yeah.
So
I mean, I did do a lot of travel, especially with the new album, just to see am I really happy with what I did personally. And a lot of the time, just because again the musical maturity aspect of it, this is genuinely the first time I pick up a seven string and actually, I didn't know what I was gonna tune to. I didn't know. I mean, Rise and Demise from Resurrect was the first song I wrote,
Mm.
and from there it stemmed on to I better get because I borrowed a seven string. I was like, I better
I
get
was going
one.
to ask you about
Yeah,
that because I remember you borrowed one last time.
yeah.
Is it still the same guitar on this album, or did you get
Nope.
your own this time?
She bought me one. I bitched and moaned for it, and I finally got one. It's a
Squeaky wheel gets the
I'm
grease.
like,
Yeah.
damn, I gotta try that. That works.
yeah.
He eventually got it.
It took a year.
Well, you got to watch 90 Day Fiance with Maida, and she'll get you something,
There
I'm
you
sure.
go. Yeah.
But no,
No,
I mean,
sister wives. We're not
Sister wives, sister wives.
but dude, I absolutely fell in love with the seven string. I found what tuning it's gonna work, and right now, I mean, when I listen to Resurrect or right now with Immortals, my brain is always like 20 steps ahead for some reason.
Hmm.
So the reason why I listen to it a lot is what I already did and what I don't want to repeat. How do I keep pushing the boundaries of my own brain? How do I make myself a better musician? I mean, with that being said, I already have like half of album 3 done already. Um, so I don't rest. I just keep writing. I keep trying to push my own limits, and I mean, shit, they're working for sure. But I mean, Immortals was sometimes I sit back and I'm like, how the fuck did I come up with that? Like, how? Like, why? Or it's cool. I mean, the music for me, I feel everything flows very organically. Nothing's outdoing anything else. And when he came in, it was just like the perfect fit. It elevated the music, like from what I would say, oh, this is 100% awesome to 200% awesome,
Hmm.
honestly. And we get fucked up sometimes because when we're trying to practice, we get so entranced by his voice that we fuck up. We're like, oh shit, yeah, we're practicing. We get so lost.
Yeah, I need the vocals off, or otherwise I'm
Yeah.
just gonna be like,
Yeah.
I can't.
And then
it's
I got to the point where I have to listen to some cues to know where
When
I'm
to
at.
change, yeah.
Yeah, because like Duke City, if he's not there singing it, I mess up. I'm
Mhm.
like, oh, how many times do I play this part? So now I had to like envision him singing this part to get the right counts because I'm like, shit, now I got too used to it. But yeah, at the beginning it was really, really hard because we're like, I can't believe this is my singer. He sounds so fucking cool. And then, oh shit, we're on the next section.
And as far as Andrea's drum parts, what was your approach with this album?
Oh man. Well, you got two drummers, so you basically got two people writing drum parts. But
You guys are bouncing ideas off each other? Or...
yeah, for sure. But I think overall it just hits a lot harder
yeah, it's like next level heavy.
compared to Resurrect
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
sure. At least I feel like we'll let the listeners be the judge of that. But
And then she has a whole bunch of different influences this time around too. I mean, like I said, with Resurrect, our roles were reversed.
Hmm.
She was my bass player by force, according to her, and I was the drummer. So that's why it's called the Resurrect because I just brought something back that we used to do. So my influences were Matt Greiner, Adam Gray, Texas in July, August Burns Red, and then this time, she's into Chris Turner from Ocean's 8, Alaska. He's an absolute alien.
he is. He's a
Um,
machine.
that guy from Spain,
Oh,
Estevao
yeah, he's
Ciberano
insane
or
too.
whatever.
I
That
like
dude
the,
is crazy.
but I love Adam Gray. I
Yeah.
love Mike Griner too. It's just
Alex Rudinger,
these
Travis
other
Orban.
drummers. I'm just like, you guys are not human.
Yeah. So we took that more of that approach. I mean, and the music honestly it calls for that. Again, musical maturity, things are different. Um, you know, sometimes we wanted just the drum parts to shine, or sometimes we wanted the guitar parts to really cut through. And there's parts where we're like, oh, maybe we should, resist a little bit to go crazy. And I thought on certain parts, less is more,
Hmm.
and it really helps him really take the spotlight on certain parts. and then he would back off to let other parts shine. So I think all in all, this record just gelled organically so well that I really think it's something that it's really special, honestly. Because when I listen back to it, especially after Let Down Studio mixes and masters, I mean it may. I really truly believe it's gonna make some waves in one way or another. Because it's really good. It's really good.
So, as far as the mixing and mastering, how much does that affect the live performance? Is it gonna adjust to the mixing of the album, or do you guys still play it the way you initially thought once you're playing on stage?
So this time around with this band, I told everybody I was gonna go all out, even if I get really bad debt. So we have a laptop for backtracks live,
Mm-hmm.
a monitor system, click track, light show, thanks to Paul. But essentially, once we okay the final mix, I have Hex send me all the individual tracks,
Good dude, Hex.
and
Mm.
absolutely,
Him
yeah.
and John both.
Yeah.
They have really had their work cut out for them this time. I mean, I'll hit that right now, but yeah, he gives me all the tracks individual, and I go into Logic and I actually build the live set with the tracks from the record.
Mm-hmm.
So if there's synths, it's gonna be live. If there's like I don't sing and play, I just can't play the parts that I write and help him with backup vocals. So it's his backup vocals, and he's so good live that it sounds like the record. So my whole idea, and she agreed to it, and he loved the idea, is when we put out a record, we have to sound like that live. So we get all the tracks,
Mm-hmm.
I put them on there. Whatever missing elements there are, it's gonna be there. But it's just whatever live parts we're in charge of, we're playing live.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that was my whole thing. I don't want any missing element. I want it all there. What you heard on the record, we want you to hear live too. Of course, there's some stuff that I do to make it a little fun. I like to piss her off with too many pinch harmonics, squealing on the guitar, changing the octave with the whammy. um, and human error makes it better a lot of the time,
Mm-hmm.
unless it's a really bad fuck up in my head. But yeah, I mean, and on top of that, I like to be as much as of a showman as I can. I mean, this last show we played, I was twerking on her bass drum.
That
I
was
think,
the December show where I went to.
yeah, 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 and I think I even like did a little kick on your ass. I was like, boom. But yeah, we try to emulate what's on the record to the live sound.
Mm.
And the great thing about John and Hex is he knows how I work now. I mean, he even told me, I know how you strum. I know how you pick the guitar at this point. So, but he doesn't say, all right, I'm gonna mix and master. I'll give it to you guys when I'm ready. He says, how do you want this? What is your goal? What do you want to accomplish with it? And we had a really good sit down as a band with them, and they know exactly this time around, it's great that we were able to just hand them an album instead of an instrumental,
Mm-hmm.
and a year later, vocals. But he was able to talk about what he wants with his vocals, the goal behind that. I was there, you know, as the producer with the Wolves, but I was there with my vision of a mix.
Mm-hmm.
I give him a few reference points, and she was able to talk about drum sound. So it was a really good meeting. I think I I will say with Resurrect there was hardly any going back and forth, and I don't really think there's going to be too many back and forths here with this
Right.
one. So
And,
we're,
and
we're
and with those meetings, real quick, with those meetings, you completely trust Hex and John at this point.
yeah.
But is it still a long, in-depth meeting, or you trust them so much that it's maybe a short meeting, a fun meeting, or a
You
little
know
bit of
what?
in between, or
It in retrospect when I think about it, it's really short. I'm the problem.
right?
I just don't know when to shut the fuck up.
He's social.
Yeah, I'm very social. I love to
Same.
talk. I tell you 20 stories in 10 minutes. I feel bad for Adam and Andy because now I work with him, and sometimes he just wants to come in and be grumpy, and I'm like, hey, I'm like that golden lab, dude, and he's like, all right, boy, and he'll give me a head pat or two, but
It's like if I'm a cloud on a sunny day, he's the sun on a cloudy day. So yeah,
so I think the meeting was really short. It was just I just kept talking, dude. So and it was a lot of me and Hex at that point. So
and I think it's just a matter of us, like you say, like sort of having faith in them,
Mm-hmm.
because we did bring some examples of what we're going for. Like we showed them different songs, and I would show them different vocalists and different parts. Um, but for the most part, sort of expanding on Bryan was saying in the question that you asked, I think that we don't put anything on the record that doesn't sound like us. Like we won't, Bryan won't write a song, or he won't use a tone or something that we can't do live.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll never hear anything on our records that you're not going to hear live. So we've already been playing one of the new songs live out, and like I said, we haven't got any of them back mixed and mastered yet. But that song already sounded live like it does on record. So that's always our ultimate goal. But I don't think it's that hard for us because the music is recorded in a way to where that's what they're gonna sound like live.
Mm-hmm.
There may be some crazy like 3 or 4 part harmony shit that we did. Obviously, I can't sing 4 parts, at the same time, but those parts will be there because of the tracks. But I'll sing the main parts live. But the way that we record and the way that Bryan writes is always like it's his sound. It's his style, obviously, but guitar sound, style, and everything. It's gonna be what you're gonna hear
Mm-hmm.
live. And if we do anything crazy, we're gonna do everything in our power to fucking make it happen live. So the records will never sound like, oh, this is badass, and then you go and see it, and like, well, where's all these other parts? They're all gonna be there. So that's always our goal.
So a couple questions about that, and I'll start with drums. When you're recording in the studio, your home studio, right? Are you doing an acoustic drum set? Or are you doing digital drums?
It's
Or
a E kit. It's a Roland E kit. Yeah.
yeah, we'll just cue it up, have her start, but that's because you could easily program that shit.
yeah, for sure.
But I refuse to program it. It has to be performed because it's gonna be performed live. And I know people who program shit that they'll never be able to play it, or if it's a guitarist that, like, dude, that's not even humanly possible in the most literal sense. So, it's better for it to be performed. It's recorded and it captured everything. Boom, we're good to go. So that's the whole idea behind it. And it's because that those are the means I have right now. If I
Mm-hmm.
ever had the funds to go crazy on mics, she just got a new drum set that is the easiest thing to tune in the world. I hate her, but
I love it.
if I had the best drum mics for that, man, we're gonna do
Mm-hmm.
everything with an acoustic
And
kit.
I only ask because, like, for instance, with my son, from here to the studio, going from the acoustic drum set to the E drum set, the dynamics here, I think he feeds off of that. And with the electric drum set, even if he has a great day in the studio with it, or an off day, whatever, like I ask him, like, dude, you were doing so whatever you're doing at home, do here.
Mm.
But it doesn't translate that easy. And I mean, he still has plenty of life ahead of him to get to that point, right? But I'm just wondering how difficult it would be for him eventually to start recording on an acoustic drum set.
So there is so it's an ambience issue. Speaking, I'm
That's what I
switching.
meant.
Yeah, I
That's what I
was.
meant by dynamics. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm switching to a drummer mode, and I know she even had the issue too.
Yeah, I was iffy about the E kit,
Yeah,
but actually the E kit it's amazing.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's because, like I said, hitting a pad versus feeling the reverb, the tones, the
The actual
overtones,
vibrations.
the actual
Mm.
vibrations. It's different. But here's the thing: when because she'll practice on the E kit, and the best thing about it is it could be midnight, and we're not pissing off neighbors. But they like Yamaha has this thing called the EAD, and it's basically one mic that you put on the kick drum, and it picks everything else up, and it's a trigger too, and you can blend it in, and you can put your phone on it with Bluetooth, and it finds the click to the track you're playing, and you get to hear it in your ears. So that is the new way to practice. I mean, we just ordered one.
Yeah.
Cause
Thanks,
JL,
JL.
yeah, JL from No Suffer had one, and I was like, hey, let's set up a day to jam. You can bring it over. It is a game changer. And for us, we're gonna be using it because the way our monitor rack is set up, we only have so many channels on the digital mixer. With this, you just plug it in once and you capture the whole thing. You don't have to have one, two, three, four, five, six, 7 mics when we already have 7 tracks going to front of house.
Fucking technology,
Yeah,
bro.
so you just plug it in once. It's a trigger to the kick drum, to the snare drum. You're good to go. So it helps her practice with a live kit, and she's hearing her drums with the drums on the track, so she can practice, nail it, and she gets the ambience. She's feeling the vibration, the wood, the heads, and that might be a way to help him transition from an acoustic kit to an e kit. Because for me, I mean, I've been drumming for so long, I don't notice. For me, I almost prefer an e kit because I can tell, oh shit, my left leg is weak as shit or something like that, and I can feel, am I really controlling dynamics on my hand? Because you can set the sensitivity on an e kit. You can, a fly can land on a pad and it's a thunder. Yeah. What I do is I curve it back so I have to hit it like an acoustic kit. So it really is about, dude. There's research behind it. I mean, that's all it is. From where I started before I started, recording guitar stuff on Resurrect to where I am now, it's night and day because it's the knowledge that I've gained with years and years and hours of just research and YouTube videos.
Right.
So yeah, him being able to hear himself in his ears through the actual acoustic kit with that Yamaha EAD makes everything easy to transition to an E kit. Everything will feel the same almost.
And I know with the newer e kits, they're making them look more like acoustic drum sets here and there. But prior to that, I always preferred watching the acoustic kit on stage. It has more presence
Oh yeah.
compared to the real bone skinny e kits.
Yeah,
See,
they're making kits now, e-kits now. I think that pretty much have the same depth drum wise as acoustic kits. So
well, what it is, they take acoustic kits, take the heads off, put the pad kit in it, and sell it.
Very expensive.
Yeah, I'm pro E kit at home, but for a live show, don't bring that
Acoustic.
shit out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's an acoustic kit all day, man. Like
they just it's a different
Yeah.
presence
Mhm.
with it. I think.
for everything, yeah, man. Like I that's when I become a purist. Like, don't bring that shit. I'm here to see you break. And I want to see blood come out when you hit a rim on your finger. All that shit, dude.
I
But-
think for me, I would probably piss purists off because if I was a drummer, I'd be like screw it, dude. Cue up my sounds and they're perfect and I'm good to go. But I understand it because for me as a vocalist, I'm like, no, dude, I have to sing as close to perfect as I can. I wouldn't go out, and load myself up with auto tune live. I'd be like, fuck that. Or I can't stand when people do that or when people lip sing or whatever. I'd be like, no, you got to do it. So from that angle, I can understand it.
Yeah.
So, but for me, I mean, as far as the recording stuff goes, me personally, in my opinion, is not really valid because I'm a singer, I'm not a drummer. But I feel like it's the best of both worlds because it's just so much easier and so much quicker, and the budget wise too. If you have an e-kit, I mean, we record our stuff in his living room, so probably if we had the budget to go to a world class recording studio for every song that we tracked, obviously we would prefer it that way.
Oh yeah.
But we make do with what we can, and I think it sounds pretty damn badass for that matter.
It
Yeah.
does.
So
And that's why I don't program anything. Like, it's performed because you capture, and again, it has to do with the sensitivity on the pads,
Mm-hmm.
the crossover. You get dynamics. I know
Yeah.
people when they program stuff, it's all as loud as it goes, and that is the worst thing to do. So
Mm-hmm.
you get dynamics, you get ghost notes. It
Yeah.
feels very human. So
And that 100% I support. Like the actual, even if it's an e-kit, an actual human performance, I'm like, that makes all the
The
difference.
human element.
Yeah.
yeah, and it just feels better that way because we can still say the drums were recorded, no matter how it was. The drums were recorded. And like I said, if I had the funds to do an actual acoustic, I mean, I was looking at a mic for just a kick drum, a really good one. That's like $30,000, dude.
Oh shit.
Versus $1,000 for an e kit, maybe 200-300 bucks on the several different plugins to find your sound.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I'd rather pay under 2,000 over 30,000 for one fucking mic, and I still have four other ones to buy.
Wow.
Screw that.
That's gonna be
So,
one hell of a mic.
yep, sure.
It's all
And we would
cardboard.
probably end up doing some pendejadas with like recording farts or
Oh,
something. Like this is
yeah.
a
I
30,000 mic. I'm gonna,
Hell no, I wouldn't let you.
I'm gonna fart out.
Well, the other day I tried. Remember, I was on the toilet trying to record a fart for you, and it was the whole shit that came out. I was like, "Whoops! I'm not sending that to him." But yeah, I mean, if I did
This is
have the money for
how intimate our relationship
yeah,
is. Yeah.
from first recording session to first doc, I'm just kidding.
We braid our beards together.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, everything else, you know, like he said, when it comes to the live sound, I mean, I went from having a tube head, half stack, analog pedal board to a quad cortex
Mm-hmm.
because the sound I did tone chase for a long time. I now have my tone. You know what I mean? Of course, that varies between songs because I don't like to have the same thing. I like to mix it up. But the great thing about a quad cortex is I imported all the sounds I used. I have 8 knobs that I can stomp on, and it changes to what the song needs.
Mm-hmm.
And the great thing about it too is if there is a malfunction with the tracks on stage, I have enough on my pedal board from the quad cortex to emulate what was missing. And things happen, man. Out of 100 shows, 60 of them are gonna be great, and the other 40 are there's gonna be some shit. And I know that Saturday show, she lost sound for 2 seconds, and 2 seconds, at
That was a
134.
December show.
Yeah,
I know Adam mentioned that, and he sort of apologized for it, or not apologized, but he sort of said something about it. And I was like, dude, I didn't catch that. Like to
Oh,
me,
when we were on stage, yeah, I was like, yeah, we had some technical difficulties.
I was like,
so-
I didn't catch it, and I thought it was great.
Yeah.
but that's what I love about, and that's what's important about being really close as friends outside of being musicians and being that tight as musicians is, well, first of all, I was able just to look at her and laugh. I was like, no, and she was like, no, and nope. So I hit pause on the laptop, and I was like, all right, it's time to put my big boy pants on, and try to emulate what's missing.
We raw dogged the rest of
Yeah.
the song. It was punk rock.
Basically, but that's how tight we can be. So
Yeah.
Adam could be tighter,
after me, yeah.
but I mean, I will say this too. And I don't say this because you guys are my friends and because I've known Adam for the longest time. Like Adam's known, I'm more a rock guy than the metal guy for the longest time, right? And I do appreciate metal. I used to listen to metal more than anything when I was younger, but not because you guys are my friends or anything. But what I appreciate about your music, why I like your music, is that I can differentiate one part from the next. Your style is very melodic as well. It's not just what we talked about last time you were here. It's just the chugga chuggas and pinch harmonic, and I appreciate your music a lot because I am a fan of it. I do
Thank you.
like it. I do love it. It's like I've got no issue telling people, not like I would have an issue telling anybody about my preference in music, but being that I'm a rock guy more than anything, like I really appreciate your tone, your band's tone, all in all.
Thank you.
Really appreciate that.
It's
Yeah, I try to write with purpose. And like you said last time, most people are just I don't know why they have 6 strings or 7 strings because they use the last string on only one fret for the majority of all their songs. So I do try to write with purpose, especially now that we have Adam in the band. I get to write freely with a lot of vision in mind
Mm-hmm.
because I do love the heavy chuggas, which does exist
Right.
heavily in our music, but I want him to sing. I want him to have melodies. I want there to be really catchy hooks, and there's just purpose behind it. Going to school and college, studying music just to be, an educator or a performer has opened and broadened my horizons because yes, what we play is mainly what I listen to, with other bands, but I grew up on Zeppelin, I grew up on hard, I grew up on, indie stuff, 90s grunge. I weird her out because I listen to a lot of EDM, hip hop,
Mm-hmm.
rap, but all that helps me write the
Mm-hmm.
way I write, so I listen to everything except country. But I listen to everything opera. I love the way composers, even like soundtracks. Interstellar is crazy with their soundtrack.
Mm-hmm.
And even it's just two notes he plays for the most part on the piano, and it's when the whole orchestra comes in that gives you goosebumps. So I try to implement all that knowledge into what I write, and of course I still write with purpose of let's get down. Let's break down and all that. But a lot of it has to do with I know he can sing and it's gonna be pretty type of thing.
But with country, have you looked into anything that might be like I'm not talking about this party bullshit country that I can't get into, that more modern pop country, but there's stuff like the obvious. There's Johnny Cash. Like I go back to Johnny Cash forever because I became a fan of his at 18 or 19 years old, give or take. And what I appreciate about him was the storytelling more
Well,
than
that's what
anything.
what I'll say is I don't deny that a lot of lyrics for country can be very beautiful or very meaningful.
Mm-hmm.
It's the literal music that bores me.
And that's what I was gonna get to. What about stuff like Sturgill Simpson, where it's more psychedelic country? Man, you can't get into that stuff.
Just can't. And
Damn,
and the
man.
culture it brings too, like it's just a whole different world. Like
No, and the only reason I bring that up with Sturgill Simpson is because I was the same way too. I was the same way with country, other than Johnny Cash and Willie Nelson actually. But country, I couldn't find anything that I really liked until Sturgill Simpson came out, and I was like, this is different. This is what I was looking for in a sense, you know.
and
Um,
it might be a regional thing too. I mean, I was born and raised in California.
mhm.
There's no country out there. It's hip hop and reggaeton and rap and hip hop. There's no room for country out there.
Yeah.
And then you're driving by a house. It's the corridas
Hmm.
and the salsa and all that. So I had no time for country, dude.
Hmm.
And when I came out to the Southwest, I was like, there's an actual culture with. And I unfortunately experienced the bad side of country culture.
Right.
So I just hated it after that. I
Mhm.
just couldn't get into it. I more recently, well, it's been quite a while though, but she poisoned my mind and got me into K-pop. So that's her fault. But it's not that I don't give music. I give everything a chance.
Right.
But if I don't like it, I don't like it. There's just certain things, even in our genre, there'll be some bands, and I'm like, I just can't get into them. Like this feels more like a gimmick.
I sent him a song this week. I was all about this song because if whenever I discover a song, I'll latch on to a song and I'll listen to it like for days.
Same.
And I sent this song to him like, dude, check this out, it's badass. And he's like, yeah, if it was like 10 years ago, I'm like, excuse my never, So, but fair enough. Different people have different tastes and everything. So I thought I would share that little tidbit because we share music with each other fairly often, and
It's like
I
a dick pic, a song,
yeah,
a dick pic, a song.
and either of them can be like, it's all right, or yeah, that's a good one. So, but yeah, he was like, well, if it was like 10, 15 years ago, I'm like, oh my god, dude, you just offended me. Like, I never thought you could offend me, but
That's twice now.
yeah,
First with The Office, and now with that song.
yeah. So, but I'm on the same page as you. I don't like the party country stuff, like the modern
Hmm.
stuff. It's few and far between that I like something new that comes out. But I like a lot of the outlaw country stuff. So, I mean, for all intents and purposes, I should have been a shit kicker because that's where I grew up at. So, but that's just not what I latched onto. My brothers growing up, my brothers were rockers. One of my older cousins got them initially into like Megadeth, Metallica, Anthrax, the big four shit. So obviously I followed in their footsteps, but I could have very justifiably been a straight up country boy, but
Mm-hmm.
we found our own path, I guess, and ended up being you know rockers and metalheads and all that shit. So, but I do like a fair amount of older country stuff.
Yeah, the older country's where it's at, bro.
Yeah.
I think because even with rap, like I couldn't name a modern artist for
Mm-mm.
the life of me, and my son listens to some of it now too, right? But I'm like, I go back to the stuff that we grew up on that maybe back in the day I didn't appreciate till now that I'm older.
Yeah.
Like there's a bunch of stuff that I'm not gonna name anything right now because I can't think for the life of me. But there's a bunch of stuff that if
Buster
it pops
Rhymes,
up,
Coolio.
yeah, Busta Rhymes was badass. I liked him a lot. But there's stuff that'll pop up in a movie or in a commercial or something on my YouTube, and I'm like, oh shit, I remember that song. That song's badass. But even with rock, back in the day, I wasn't into Limp Bizkit.
Yeah.
I can listen to them now all
They're a
day long.
treasure.
Yeah.
Dude, now I can listen to Limp Bizkit and appreciate them when I
Yeah.
didn't back then.
Yeah.
And Adam knows this. I'll never appreciate Nickelback. That shit fucking gets on my nuts.
You know what? I
But
I really appreciate a good sound of Nickelback CD cracking over my tires.
there you go. There you go. Love it. But it's with rap, with country, it's got to be some of the older stuff that to me has meaning. Um, no, well, I think, and I've talked about. I don't know if we talked about this on the first time you guys came over. Like with me, if you're gonna sing, if you're gonna sing, no matter what type of music, genre, whatever, it's got to be true to you, you know. And I've heard of people that are country artists locally that are singing cliche country, and I'm like, no, dude, make it your story, make it about your life, your truth.
That's one thing that I that's one thing that pushes me away from modern country is it's a lot of the same subject matter. Me and my wife joke about it all the time. It's like all they sing about are cantinas,
Whiskey,
senoritas,
Bud Light.
like cliche party shit, and
blue jeans.
I can't relate to that at all. But I can respect a good pop song, which for me, modern country is like pop music at
Hmm.
this point. So I can respect a well written pop song, but for me, there's got to be that emotional depth to it.
Substance.
So that's where I agree with you. Like the older stuff, had that, and even as far as hip hop, hip hop is one of my big genres too. I love hip hop because it's the lyrics. The lyrics is the most important thing in that genre too. And there are actually a lot of modern artists that I really dig too, but for the most part, yeah, it's like throwback stuff.
Hmm.
There's few artists now, and I think even the ones that I dig that are modern now are heavily influenced by that old way, the old stuff. So, but yeah, I mean, music just has to have meaning for me. A pop song I can get into. I like a lot of pop artists,
Hmm.
so, but when it really gets down to it, like a song is gonna strike me if there's heart there.
Hmm.
So
And you know what? Speaking about that, lyrically, Adam did just that for Immortals. He put, yeah, there's some themed songs that, it was just the vibe that he went off of, or, some fantasy stuff. But the songs that he wrote, like one day he came in and he just wasn't feeling it. You know what I mean? Like, somebody in traffic might have pissed you off or whatever, but he grabbed that and put it into a song. So on Resurrect, I mean, there was a lot of lyrics that I already had written, so it was more like him completing some stuff.
Plug and play.
Yeah, and then the other half, you you did go ahead
it was
and,
like half the record that I
yeah.
got to write on the first one, but this one was
Yep.
everything.
Because when there was finally time, and it felt like forever to finally start working Immortals. But he was like, "So do you have anything in?" I was, dude, this is all you. Like, I don't. This is your job. Like, I already did what I had to do. This is your time. Like, you do it. You're naming all the songs except for one. I said the press circle to crouch. I was like, we're keeping that theme. I mean, I have a list of song names for video game references right
Hmm.
now, but I said, everything else, dude, you have full creative control. I want you to write all the lyrics. I want you to write the song names. And man, he blew me away. And I think the only thing when it came to his vocals that I had to, put my idea in is, oh, maybe you should harmonize here, or maybe you should do it this way. Um, but everything else, like when even then, I'd be like, oh, you should put a harmony here. He was like, I already thought of that. Um, but yeah, I mean, when I say that Hex and John have their work cut out for them, it's
Mm-hmm.
because not only were did I write a lot of synth parts, and it's not just one synth. It's there's layers and layers with different sounds. You know, drums are it's not just the drum part. There's some parts where it just sounds really distant. It had a lot to do with his vocals too. It's not just one track. There was like up to like 12 tracks at a time where it was just doubling things. The harmonies wasn't just left and right. There was several layers to it, and yeah, by the end of it, I sent them 50 gigs for 10 songs. There's a lot going on. So my whole thing was bigger, louder, bolder, and
Mm-hmm.
we definitely set out for that because even some of your ideas when you come in, this might be weird, this might be stupid, and then we when we play back, oh shit, we were like little kids at a candy store, man. And no, I mean there's so much substance to his writing, you know, especially because it wasn't me being angry all the time because all my lyrics were like,
Well, I'm plenty angry too, but yeah, I mean, expanding on that a little bit, I think a lot of the approach that we took as far as layering stuff, it's kind of ironic that Bryan says that Letdown has their work cut out for them, because they were sort of the ones that pushed us in the direction to try as much and try putting as much to work with as we could,
Mm-hmm.
because their attitude is like, do it, like load it up, and then we can edit.
yeah,
Like we can edit stuff down, or if it all works, we'll keep it in,
We'll
and
trim the fat if need be.
yeah,
so they pretty much told us like, dude, you guys on this record, you guys go for it. Try everything, try as much as you can, give us as much as you can for us to work with. So that was sort of the approach that we took. As far as building songs and building vocal parts and stuff. But lyric wise, yeah, like Bryan said, there was songs that had certain sounds that would inspire the subject for me. Um, there's some stuff that's personal, and there's some stuff that's always open to interpretation. But there's also specific subjects that I wrote about. Like for instance, our first single, which is a song that we're already playing live. The title will give it away to Potterheads out there. The title's called "A Beginner's Guide to Transfiguration," and that song is a Harry Potter song.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if anybody's ever done a heavy metal Harry Potter song, but we have one on the new record. So, and my wife and I tend to watch the whole saga like at least once a year. And this past year, I had decided to actually read the books because I had never read the books before. She's like, "You got to read the books; they're better than the movies." So I started reading them, and I was reading them at the time we were recording. But there was just this one song, and I was like, "I'm gonna try and write this song about Harry Potter, that subject." And I approached Bryan, and I'm like, "This can either go really well or it'll be really stupid." And it came out killer, man. The song, I mean, you don't have to be into that story at all to relate to the lyrics, but if you are into the story,
You'll get
you're
it.
gonna be like, oh shit, that's awesome.
yeah.
So
Because when I disassociate from the actual, this is Harry Potter, you could still, again, music's very, it's what you get from it.
Mm-hmm.
It is an art, and
Universal.
yeah, it's very universal. If you don't think about Harry Potter, you still get a huge meaning off of it, man. And we sing it all the time at home. It might be in a mocking tone, because that's just how we do things, but we're singing all the time, especially when we're practicing. That's what's the convenient is we can just walk downstairs and us two jam it. But after we're done playing it, we'll sing it in the mocking tone, and it's so catchy. I mean, and I'm glad that's what you came up with for that song, because my whole thing was I want a jam song. Like usually everything's just like complicated or a certain thing, and I just wanted something you can bounce to. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I mean, I'm up there doing little salsa dance while I'm playing the main riff, but it was such a jam, and then he threw it on there, and I was like, oh hell yeah, dude! It's a face melter. You're like,
Yeah.
so
So that was one of the songs, and then there's two songs on the record that have a very heavy Egyptian sound feel to them. So I went in that direction with the imagery and the vocals and stuff too.
you could say the titles. We already did it on our little
Well, one
segments.
of the songs is called Rust, and the other title, actually, he mentioned one title that we kept. We actually kept two, so
Oh
we
yeah.
kept this title too, and it's Anubis. And so I ended up. Sometimes there's rare occasions where a working song title will inspire what I write, and Anubis was one of those cases, 1,000%. So Anubis, I just like went wholeheartedly with it, and I wrote the song about Anubis. And Rust was sort of in the same realm. Um, I think I watched, literally threw on the movie The Mummy. When I was writing both of these songs, just to sort of put my head and my mind and my visual, thinking into that kind of world. And Rust ended up being sort of more of the romantic kind of story. But yeah, I mean, I find inspiration in the weirdest of places. There's other songs that are like 100% personal to me, but I still leave them open to where other people can grab a hold of them and be like, oh man, he wrote this song like straight out of my head. So I like writing in that manner too. And sometimes songs will be completely about something that people will not even guess.
Mm-hmm.
So that's cool too. So I definitely always invest, like, each record is like a chapter out of my life. But the further I've gotten a little further away from making it so personal, just
Mm-hmm.
because I know that I'm also writing for consumption.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not gonna be like, oh, I hate my second grade teacher, some shit like that, or some trauma. So I do it kind of more cleverly now at this point in life. So, uh, but yeah, I mean, I'm really excited too I'm just excited in general for people to hear the record and
I was hoping you were going to say Stargate and not the Mummy, though.
Stargate. So,
SG1.
but yeah, that's sort of where the title came from. Is we started sort of looking at the record as a whole, and there was like a Harry Potter song, there's some Egyptian songs and other stuff, and we had other ideas for titles, but I was like, what about Immortals? Like, because when I close my eyes and listen to those songs, I see like crazy, I don't know, like Marvel worlds and shit in my
Mm-hmm.
head. So I'm like, let's just go with something cool and fun,
Dormammu.
and so yeah.
But yeah, you pretty much said it. He does write in a very clever way,
Mm-hmm.
because it could be a personal thing, but it's like staying away from I, me, and making it more generalized, and
Right.
that's why you can connect with it in your own way. Um, but yeah, I mean, the only drawback to unfortunately, I like to just name the songs when I write them random shit. The bad thing is switching from the working title to the official title. Because, like, with A Beginner's Guide to Transfiguration, I named it Horned Cry. Um, yeah, like, there's Rust. I literally put letters from wolves, scrambled the letters, and it said We Revolt from Steel. And it's just all the letters from the band name.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's getting a little hard to remember what the fuck song was what, especially with new titles. Um, Even now, with you saw a few new songs after this one. He was like, "What the fuck is Arf Arf?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, it's a song I'm working on."
And I get that too, because we have to name them something.
Yeah,
You can't just name it track 3, track 4, track.
That because then you're gonna confuse
Yeah.
everything. Yeah.
So Anubis worked perfectly because it had that sound, and I ended up writing off of the fucking title, of the working title of the song, so that one stuck. But yeah, he'll refer to them as other ones, and I'm like, what song? What song is that? You know, so we have to kind of switch gears in our heads. So, but yeah, I had fun on this record, even just titling some of the songs, because some of the songs I even just titled stuff that had nothing to do with the lyrics. I'm like, it just sounds cool, so I'm gonna name it this.
And no, you know what,
So
the song names for this album are some of my favorite. They're really cool because I'm a fan of really long names
Mm-hmm.
for songs, especially if it has nothing to do with the song. I mean, that's what, like, classic emos.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like Mr. Dangerfield or whatever, and it's nothing about that. But especially what used to be the working title was Melavia, because her favorite band is Veil of Maya, and I had no idea what to do as a working title, so I just did Melavia, kind of like Master of Puppets, and then someone did a font for Metallica, and it's Pastor of Muppets.
Mm-hmm.
So that was kind of the thing behind that, and the official song name. I was like, fuck yeah, let's do this long ass paragraph for a song name.
yeah, I sent them the title, and I sort of a couple of the names I approached them with the idea that Bryan would like them because they're super long. So I knew as soon as I sent him like super long winded titles, he'd be like, "Fuck yeah,
Yep.
that's awesome. Let's use that." So there's a couple, like two or three songs that I did name like a whole entire sentence for the
Yeah.
title of the song.
Mhm.
But there are like Rust is just one word.
Yeah.
Anubis is just one word. So I played with him a little bit, and that was fun for me too, because there has like the first record, all the songs were named.
Yeah.
So like Bryan says, I got to write the lyrics, I got to name stuff, so it was cool. I had fun with it.
And do you guys limit yourselves to time, length of song, or anything? Or
No, if anything, it's cutting back. As right now, I just feel like when I write a song, I have so much to say with my
mm-hmm.
guitar stuff that, and we were just talking about that because we're talking about mixing up the set and putting
Mm-hmm.
more new songs on it. And I was like, shit, I just noticed that most of these songs are in the 5 minute, 5.5 minute
And
realm.
that's why I'm asking, because I
Yeah.
miss that, bro. Because I remember buying CDs when I was younger, and you miss having a lengthy album with songs that are not just radio friendly at 4 minutes or less, but you've got your epic
Yep.
song that's like 5 6 minutes long.
Yep. And that's where Immortals is, and that's where I continue to do. It's because I just feel like there's so much to put musically
Mm-hmm.
for me right now that I'm just having trouble keeping it shorter. I'm definitely not going to go super prog and do a 24-minute song like Dream Theater,
Mm-hmm.
but I think right now 5.5 minutes is kind of my short song at this point.
I dig it,
Um,
bro.
yeah, I mean, certain styles call for it.
Mm-hmm.
There's just so much that you can put. Like, there's a new song that I was writing right now that before I knew it, I was like, holy shit, this is close to 6 minutes, man. But you don't feel it because it's got you the whole time.
And I'm just saying because not every song has to be radio friendly.
Hmm.
Because your fans are gonna listen to that 6 minute song no matter what, you
Yep.
know.
As a matter of fact, one of the songs we've been mentioning, Rust, my vocals don't kick in until a minute into that
Yep.
song. So,
And there's still.
and it's a whole song
Yep.
after I start
Yep.
vocals. But it's just like for that one, I felt like the musical part in the beginning of that song was enough. So, and I felt that that was the right time for me to kick in. But yeah, that song is all of our songs. I don't think any of our songs come in under like four 4 minutes or
Mm-mm.
longer. So
They're all about, like, if if they're not close to 5 minutes, they're well over 5 minutes.
Mm.
It's just that's what felt right to me this time around. And like I said, our new sound calls for it. Um, you know, like for the radio rock song that I was writing as a solo thing, that one I was like, fuck, this is 4.5 minutes. It feels way too long because that style just feels like it needs to be shorter.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I say, hey man, because he excels with that style of music too. So I was like, I just feel like this is too long, and we cut it down to 3.5 minutes because it feels right to be 3.5 minutes. But the new Wolf stuff, it it just felt right. And even like he said, it's like a whole minute before he starts singing, because that whole intro is pretty theatrical. I would say there's just so much going on, and then he comes in, and you're like, oh, like the release. But yeah, I mean, even moving forward, like I said, I haven't slowed down. I'm still writing, and even the some songs are half written. There's a few that are complete, and they're well over 5 minutes. So
And how you were saying earlier that you're willing to go broke for the band with this new album or your future music projects as well. Like idealistically, what do you see or what do you want to come out of all of this? What's the dream?
for me, so of course, any musician wants to make it big,
Mm-hmm.
travel the world, hope it becomes sustainable where that is the job.
That'd
Of
be nice.
course, that's always going to be my dream. But, I'm 36. I try to keep it in the realistic realm. I do want some sort of, you know, people know the name of the band. People love the music. What my goal is, I want my music just to reach as far as it can to as many ears as it can.
Mm-hmm.
I want the visual content to reach as many eyes as it can. Um, and that's what I meant by there's a million people doing the same thing, trying to get somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
It really is how far you push it is how far you're gonna go. I mean, I've been in several bands where it's like you got shitty equipment, you're just trying to carpool to the venue, and you play 20 minutes because that's all we got back then, and then you head home tired as shit. And for me now, it's just like, no, I want to put on a show. I want to stand out. I want people to know, oh, those guys don't fuck around. So yeah, we want to take it as far as we can. I do want to, play big shows,
Mm-hmm.
stadiums and stuff like that because, and I know everyone says this, but I really think our music does have that chance. I mean, I studied music for so long. I don't, it's not just gibberish. It's intelligently put
Mm-hmm.
together. And JL from No Suffer, he even said, "Man, you guys can market this music, like, because it has everything, that you're gonna
That's one of the
want."
things I think I was telling Adam this weeks back after the show in December was that to me because obviously I know you guys I care about you guys I'm thinking and maybe there's no right way maybe I might be spitting it out the wrong way there's no right way to say it but I think you guys are destined for a bigger stage. um Shout out to the Rock House for giving you guys
Oh
that
yeah.
venue for sure.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm not saying anything against them but I'm when I listen to you guys' music I'm like I'm seeing something bigger already in my head, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's again not to bash anybody, it's just I listen to your music and I'm seeing something bigger already.
Yeah, and I really do appreciate that, and I do see that myself too, because like I said, I think the music is put intelligently together. It's not, there's a difference between, and every high school kid that has a dream of being in the band should do it.
Mm-hmm.
Always chase it. You got to start from somewhere to end up, where you want to be.
Mm-hmm.
But we're not that. Like I studied music for a really long time. Things are, I know what a time signature is. I know what the notes are. I know what clef it needs to be in. It's structured intentionally. So, and then again, his talent with his voice really pushes it really, really, really far. So, and we have the gear of a famous touring band, so we could do it.
I gotta take a time out real quick.
Oh,
I'll be right back.
you can go pee pee.
Yes.
You can go pee pees.
We can. I'll revert back to the question that you were expanding on right now before I had to pee. As far as like what the what the hope and what the dream is for the band.
And yeah, I was gonna ask you and Andrea the
Yeah.
same question too.
I mean, Andrea, feel free to.
I mean, Bryan already said it. You know, I can't add to that. It's perfect.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's pretty much the same thing. If we could ever get to the point where it's paying the bills, that would be ideal. That would be a dream come true. Really, just to travel, take it outside of El Paso, which is something that's feasible. I mean, that'll be in our plans, hopefully, our future plans. Even some weekend warrior stuff, hit the road a little bit. But ultimately, it's always, to make a career out of it. Um, for me personally, as a vocalist, it would just be for what I put out there to mean something to somebody. Whether it helps them or they just relate to it and say like, oh yeah, like this person is saying, the words that I can't figure out to say for myself. That's always my ultimate goal. So, I mean, pretty simple goals, but yeah.
And definitely like when I can't even walk anymore, I'm like old and wrinkly. I can always just open up and say I did this.
Hmm.
It's the one of the important things for me. That's the reason why I started Wolves to begin with. Is I don't want to look back in 10, 20 years when I can't do this anymore and say I should have done it and then regret it.
Hmm.
So really, it's like I guess it's an intimate thing for me because I've always loved the music that much, and
Hmm.
I have the means to be able to write, the way I write. So it's more of a like on my deathbed, about to take the last few breaths. Yeah, I accomplished this.
Again, I mean that's sort of the whole idea behind the title Immortals. I mean, I'm sure you can share that sentiment with the music you've done with your son. Like,
Yeah, dude. I
as,
just I just wish I could do more, and I can. I just gotta. I have the time on my days off. It's just I gotta balance fatherhood with everything. But eventually, I will. I want to put more music up there because sometimes, so interviewing you guys or interviewing like my guest yesterday, and the other bands last year. Sometimes I feel like a fraud. You know what I mean? Because I haven't put as much as everybody else out there. But I know I've got it. I know I can do it. It's just I will.
but doing this also takes a lot of time
Oh
too.
yeah.
Like me and Bryan did a sort of a conversational video too,
Oh yeah, I saw those.
that we put up, and it's a lot of effort, man. Like
Hmm.
I got to give it to you guys too because what you do, it takes a lot of work. Like we set up lights and cameras and stuff, and we ended up only being able to use one angle because everything we set up looked like shit.
Yep.
So I mean, even just what you guys do takes a lot of effort and work.
It,
So not
it's,
everybody can do that
it's
too.
just fun, bro. But it's pretty much just like what we're doing beforehand in the kitchen, just talking, having a good time. I like having people come over anyway. It's
Yeah,
and to record it and keep record of it, all the better.
but I mean, like all of us would agree. Going back to that question, I think our ultimate goal, because like Bryan says, we work together, and there's some days where we're just like, man, I wish we were doing something musical right now.
Yeah.
So that too would be like where we wish our lives were. We're like we're just doing music stuff all the time. Like for me, that would be it too. Like every day working on something or on the road playing a show, or that would be like the ideal existence
Or
for
just
us.
imagine you guys at the office and you get a message on your social media that you're gonna make it big. At the same time, you're like, "Fuck you, Sheila, I'm out." Something.
See, if I was at my old job, I would take the biggest shit on my old boss's desk. And I would grab it with my bare hands and smear a message on that glass. Fortunately, at our job,
But even as a germaphobe, you'd do that.
yeah, that's
That,
why I
that's
said it.
that's how
That's
sour he is
why I
towards the
said
last
it.
place.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why I said it. That place is my Slytherin for sure. But where we work now, I love working
Right.
there. Coolest people, coolest boss ever. So, you know, he was saying, yeah, even if we made it big, we can work from remote on the tour bus and just get shit done, still get paid there.
I told Bryan, like, I would be down, dude. Like, if they let us take off but still work for them, I would so totally do it.
Yeah,
So
but no, I mean, if for sure, if we were just sitting at the office and we got that message, I am at least gonna kick a monitor down out of excitement. So or
yeah,
fuck it, just throw myself down the stairs for fun instead of it being a
an
million years.
accident.
Yeah. So, and I know she'll come home sometimes. She's like, "Fuck, let's just get famous so I can quit my goddamn job and just do this." But I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, if it could be a something that's sustainable to pay the bills. I mean,
Well,
I'm writing every day or doing something musical anyway. Like, it'd be awesome just to get paid for it.
hmm
So,
Yeah.
that'll be the dream, bro.
fuck yeah.
And again, that's why, like, if this were to ever pick up as a podcast too, that'd be great. I gotta stop taking hiatuses though. But yeah, man, I see what you're saying. It'd be ideal if I could pay the bills doing this too. Fuck, man, by all means.
Yeah.
Yep.
That'd be cool.
But we do it because we love it.
Yeah,
Ultimately.
for sure,
Yeah.
for sure. And I was reminding my guest earlier this week that I love doing this because I get to showcase my guest and make new friends in some cases. You guys already knew him, I already knew, but it's a lot more fun. It's always fun, but it's even funner when it's someone new. Like the first time I met you guys, you know. So it's.
Absolutely. It's all about the networking, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you would ever have a guest in here, period, that was like a jerk. But have you experienced anybody to be like, yeah, well, one and done, like one was enough. I don't need to see.
You don't
that
have to say
person
names, but
I've only had 23 shows, so let me do the math because they'll be able to narrow it down. No.
I was gonna
yeah.
say probably
Letters
most.
from wolves.
Yeah, right. Like you guys right here. If you hadn't asked me to come back, like fuck that. No, I mean I think most of the guests you have in here are for the most part like creatives
Yeah.
or athletes or something, doing something. So I think a lot of us are like minded and,
Mhm.
and a certain kind of people. Not to take away from people that don't, who are not artists or don't paint or anything, but we're definitely extra fucked up in the head.
No, usually
Musicians or artists or we're all a mess. So
for the most part, everybody that I've had on here, I wanted on here. So I've got my own personal
Liz,
vetting methods, yeah,
yeah.
for sure. And I've had suggestions yeah, I don't
You're
want
like,
that person here.
nah, like
I don't know that I want that person
I'm good.
in my house,
Yeah.
you know. But I mean, some people are necessary evil, but even then, I'm like, nah.
Because you got to be careful. It's your house.
Yeah.
You're like I said, if I'm ever getting paid and I have a studio space somewhere else, it's like, yeah, I'll bring some assholes in here, but
Mhm.
but
But
for now, yeah,
I mean, it's your home.
Yeah.
That's one thing that we are very conscious of as well. Like who we bring. Like we don't just let anyone over because
Yep.
you have your gear here. You don't want someone to be like, oh, we'll come back when he's not here, type of shit.
And
Same thing for
forget
us.
the gear, my son. You know,
That
like
too. Yeah.
you don't want to know you had a creeper in your house after the fact. You know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it is a very touchy subject. Like he said, if it's somewhere where it's like in a plaza, who gives a fuck? Like
Mm-hmm.
But I still, for me, it's cool because you get to show whoever comes across your YouTube channel and your
Mm-hmm.
podcast what El Paso has to offer.
Yeah, man, that's the point. That's all I want to do, bro. And that's what I want to do with that new show that I'm doing too with the food. Only one episode so far, but once I get more into that, like I want to go review mom and pop shops, restaurants, and cook with friends here. You know, so again, just to showcase everything that's cool about El Paso. It's
Like
I always
whenever you need a judge,
I was gonna say we should start one where the title is "Will it chorro or not?"
I can't be on that show. I can eat a Ritz cracker and it'll send me to the bathroom.
you know that last one because I had asked you about being a judge. Remember? But it was such a shit show, huh, Adrian? Well, it was a good time. It was a good fucking time. But and I didn't come into it stressed or nothing, but it takes a lot more than what the cooking shows on TV
Oh
lead on to
yeah.
believe, you know? Like we give ourselves I thought I was being fucking nice to my competitor by saying we've got 2 hours to cook, thinking I've got this shit down, I can do it in 30 minutes or whatever. You know? Fuck no, dude, it takes a lot more than and then when the shit hits a fan, I was frying fish with a fryer outside, and it was getting burnt to a crisp right off the bat, bro. So I had to fucking compromise with the stove and make it work on the stove and stuff. And
And it also
the,
depends on the recipes, man, because some things take like 6 hours to settle and stuff like that too.
mm-hmm.
So unless
Yeah,
you have a
dude.
pressure cooker.
Oh yeah, the instant pot works wonders, bro.
Yeah.
Instant pot does everything right, real quick and easy. And so that show in December, real quick to go back to that, I was only there for 3 or 4 of your songs. I can't remember how many you guys played.
We
Cause
did a 6-song set.
Yeah, 5 or 6. Yeah.
5 or 6. I missed 2 songs maybe. Yeah, Mijo started calling me and texting me, "Daddy, are you coming home?" Because I left him with my parents for a bit, which I never do. And I was like, "I worry, whatever. I'm on my way." But it was a good show, though, man. It was a
Thank
great
you.
show. I enjoyed the set for sure. Again, like I told Adam, I didn't catch any mistakes that you guys had mentioned, but it was a great time, and I'm glad I got out there for the first time in a while
Yeah,
to
yeah,
catch
for
that.
sure.
And the one thing that I always tell, once because we kind of analyze what went well, what could have, what, what should we do next time, or for me personally, oh, I know what I need to work on next time. But one thing is like sometimes we're not happy with the result of a show, and I usually tell them, you know what, but it's because we know, like we're our own worst critics,
Always.
and I've listened to videos, of what I thought, oh, I didn't play good or whatever, and it's actually really good. It's just I am my worst critic. Like I want perfection, and to the point where I make sure to mute them strings. Like it's supposed to be silent for a reason, and sometimes there's like a little
Hmm.
fuck, man, that was sloppy. But no, we're our own worst critics, and sometimes I'm like, fuck, how embarrassing or whatever, and then I listen to the videos at home that I end up like reposting back on the whoever recorded. I'm like, oh shit, we did badass.
Yeah,
So
there's been a few where like we kind of walk off like, man, we played like shit. But then we'll see the videos afterwards and like, actually,
yeah,
it was actually really good.
yeah,
So yeah, we're definitely our own worst critics for sure. So
yeah. It's I'll add to the dream part of the list too, to have a crew. Dude, if we could have people set up that monstrous setup that we have, I would have more energy for the show.
yeah,
But man, I'm dripping sweat by the time I'm ready to play the first note because I have right now it's just me up there, so I have 2 cabs. I have the monitor
Hmm.
system. I have to make sure the front of house has what they need from us for the show to go right. And then Paul's running the lights everywhere. He's helping Andy put drums up, and it's a lot of work, dude. So that's that's part of the dream right there.
so
Just to have a crew to take care of all that shit would
if
be
there's
cool.
any interns out there looking for an unpaid experience in the industry, hit us up
Yeah,
for sure.
but
But yeah, I second that for sure. A lot of people talk about the prima donna singers that just show up and don't do shit. I'm like, I wish I could be that guy.
it's
But
just
yeah,
too
I
much.
mean, we have so much gear and lights and everything, and we have to get everything up and running in a certain amount of time. So, but it's funny too because certain venues will be like, well, can you guys really get up, in 10 minutes, 15 minutes? And we're like, fuck yeah, dude, got it down to a science
We
already.
do.
So
Yeah, we have it down to a science, and then we're prepared. We try to respect other
Hmm.
musicians' time slots too. So unfortunately, it does call for us missing certain segments of people's set.
sets.
But when we're first, we're kind of like okay with it because we can just show up early enough, set everything up, chill out, and then play. When we're in the middle of a set, you know, a band starts playing, we're
Hmm.
outside setting up. When they're done, they get off and boom, we're running up there with everything, making sure, and we play on time. But then we're rushing off stage out
The
of
other way.
respect for the next act. So it comes with its
Yeah, so a crew is definitely the dream for
yeah.
sure. So
When's your next show?
Right now, we don't have any. We did get a couple offers, but some schedule conflicts, took place, and then on top of that, we're trying to get ready with a new set.
Hmm.
Um, because the whole thing for me is, yeah, we can play 100 shows, but I don't want to keep playing the same things, and
Hmm.
people, oh, I already heard that, and that's when people get bored of you. We want to, bring in new songs that people haven't heard, and of course we're also thinking about the the stage visuals and stuff like that too. So yeah, we're gonna take our time, make sure this album comes out, perfect. We still need to do the revisions, and whenever they start sending them over, I know Hex wants us just to come to the studio and we'll do the revisions together.
Hmm.
Little party. I think that'd be cool. Um, but yeah, I mean, for right now, we haven't, we don't have any shows in sight because we're focusing, on the band
Hmm.
first. I know, she mentioned once we do have the final product, we're probably gonna do like a little listening party, and
Nice.
we're, you know, we might have like even like a little select list of, people who either pre-save it or pre-order it or get a shirt or something. They can be invited to the pre-listening party too. So we have some stuff in mind,
In the
some small
works.
stuff, but some big stuff too. Some really big stuff. That for sure is a hush hush at this point. But yeah, we've got a lot planned um, for 2026. I would say.
Yeah, I mean, just to coincide with the album release, we're working on stuff to build up to it and to put out along with it. So yeah, the hush hush thing is that we're gonna be walking out halftime with Bad Bunny.
Yeah,
Uh, we
my
just
bunny.
we just let the cat out of the bag. So
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. Yeah, I mean we have it's kind of cliche for every band to say like, oh, we're working on some big stuff, but yeah, I mean we're working on cool stuff to put the record out and hopefully get on some good shows and put some cool things out for everybody. So
And do you guys have a release date yet for the album?
not yet. I think we are refraining from setting a date yet because in the past we've set dates without having the product ready in our hands. So we stress so much like, are we going to get the tracks back in time, to release on the date that we said? So we're refraining from doing
Yeah,
that
you don't want
now.
that added stress.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't want to rush.
So we're waiting to get the record back, see if we need to go back and make any corrections or
Yeah.
anything, and then once it's all set and we're happy, then we'll set a date.
And
Mhm.
that's kind of what I said. I mean, especially for me, I've had this album for almost 2 years now. So what's another 3 months at this point?
Mhm.
So it's like it really, patience will pay off for this one. Because in that time, even before he started tracking, I've been able to listen to it and be like, you know what, I need to redo this part, or you know what, it needs more magic, or whatever it may need. So when it comes to waiting, on the mixing and mastering, I'm not bugging him. I letting him do his thing, giving him his space. I know he's busy anyway, but when it comes down to getting, the first revisions, yeah, we'll have the session with Letdown, listening to everything.
Mhm.
But we're still gonna take it home and write down notes, make sure everything's good, and then, hey, this is what we heard.
And I'm certain you guys are going to do a live session with them too. Let down.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that's definitely in the cards for the future.
yeah.
What about music videos?
Yeah, I mean we've gone back and forth on ideas and stuff too, so that'll definitely be in the works for this year too. Yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm excited, man. I'm really excited to hear the new album.
For me, like Bryan says, he's got the patience to wait to put it out, but I'm like itching, dude. I'm like, I want everybody
And
to
and
hear
and,
it already.
and he's faithful, bro. Because with his past projects, I'd always get dibs on. I'd get a message at random. Hey man, you want to hear something cool? Like fuck yeah, I do, bro. I ain't heard shit at him.
Yeah, I know, and I've
Good.
there's like a select few friends that I used to do that with, but on this this batch, I really have kept it tight. Like I want it to be finished, and
Hmm.
the way that we intend everybody to hear it before anybody
Hmm.
hears it. So I think it'll be worth the wait. But yeah,
And I also
we'll
don't
see.
want a repeat of having five singles and then there's only 3-4 songs that are gonna be released as an album. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So this time I told them, you know what? I ain't doing a fuckload of singles this time. It's just gonna be one single in
and the record.
album. Yeah,
Put it all out.
yeah.
So I mean, we might maybe go in and record a single here and there to drop, just to keep people interested. But yeah, this time around we're gonna drop the whole thing as
Yeah.
one. So yeah.
Because I mean, outside of Immortals, we've got even other stuff in the works. That speaking of singles, I did write a single aside from Immortals, because we are working on something pretty big. Um, so between Immortals and album three, there's still going to be a few more drops here and
Mm.
there. But from here on out, I think I'll be writing a full album at a time. Sending it to her for her to do her thing, and then Adam gets it, him to do his thing. I'd definitely be a lot more patient with it, because and it's hard. It sucks. It's like being a kid at a candy store.
Hmm.
Because believe me, I just want people to hear it, but
Oh yeah.
I waited this long, so
Even for me, dude, like I did one record. We've done stuff in between. I completed the second record, and Brian's like, "Hey, there's new music in the folder." I'm like, "Fuck you, dude!"
I come
Like, what the
home.
hell do you mean? There's another half record already written. I'm like,
I come home, and Brian's like, I just wrote another song. I'm like,
you're like, stop. No, just kidding. But I think it's really good that he consistently writes, because I know back in the day I was for certain projects I was a primary songwriter, and there was definitely periods where I might have writer's block.
Hmm.
So I would feel like writing, but we couldn't write shit, or we would jam and we would just start fucking around and it would go nowhere. So I'm glad he keeps like an arsenal, of music, even if we don't ever use it, or we can pick and choose, like be selective of what we actually put out.
yep.
But I'm really happy actually that he does write so much. So it really is a little bit annoying when he's like, hey, it's time to do the next record. But so for me too, it's kind of a funny thing, because we're talking about the new record, and I'm really stoked on how it came out, the lyrics and everything. But on any given day, I'm not like I'm not the type of guy to be writing in journals and stuff like that. So I'm like, what the fuck am I gonna write about this new record? I'm like, I'm just a normal dude. I go to work, I go home, I do the married life. I love my wife, I love my dog, I got my friends, and close circle of my family, my brother and stuff. So,
Hmm.
but I'm like, what am I gonna write about, dude? But it's funny because when I actually sit down and write, I'm like, man, I'm a
Where'd
pissed
that
off
come from?
person, you know. So, but it's always, I guess it's just a mind game for me within myself. Like, fuck, I have a whole other record to write again. Like, what am I gonna write about? So, thankfully, when we sit down and we hit play, stuff tends to come. So, and it turns out really good.
And then there's nothing wrong like with the song about my dog. Um, there's nothing wrong with doing a goofy thing here and there
Hmm.
either, because I think it plays into our personalities as a band, because
Hmm.
it's a laugh riot all the time.
Gotta be fun for the
Yeah,
fans.
we're always having fun, and we're goofy as shit. So it does work with that art. That's like part of our aesthetic. So that's why we have some funny song names or
And
now of songs. So.
to a certain extent, I mean, the whole metal genre, right? A lot of bands put that image forth that's like no smiling and all black, and in certain aspects we are that way, but it's funny because we've mentioned that we work together, and we have a small close team, but we also work in a bigger department. And we've had people tell us, like, because we've shared that we're in a band in the office and everything, and that we're like metal and everything, and everybody always says like, we would have never guessed you guys are in like an angry screaming. She's like, you guys are so nice, and it's just kind of funny, when we get that reaction. But I mean, it's true. Like, we're not the type of band to be like, oh, we gotta walk in and like,
Act tough.
be
Take me,
tough
take me
and
serious all the time.
yeah, because I am screaming and singing about, hurtful stuff or stuff that I've been through, but at the same time, how am I not going to enjoy being on stage and fucking jamming out? And because I mean that's when I'm in my element. So I'm not gonna be like, ooh, tough guy up there. Half the time I'm trying not to fall on my face, you know.
And then you have a jackass like me doing stupid shit on stage anyway.
And then
So.
he's kicking me in the ass and twerking on drums, and so. But yeah, I mean, to a certain extent, we try and I guess maintain that kind of vibe, but we're not that band at all. So you'll see us doing stupid shit.
Yeah, like we're not shy to
like making
show up.
even trying to make each other laugh, like
Yeah.
just doing stupid shit. So yeah, I mean to a certain extent, we'll put that image forward, but you're definitely gonna see it break more often than that.
Yeah.
So it's cool, man.
I dig it, man.
Yeah.
And to what you were saying earlier, with you get excited wanting to release the music and everything, but you gotta wait. I get the same way with the podcast too. I'll be editing the episode, and I'll come across what I consider a highlight, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't wait till people see this part or laugh at this part, or even then the way I add graphics to it later after the fact. I'm like, oh, I have an idea for this. I can't wait for the guest to see that later or something too. So
yeah, it's cool, man. It's tough though, like being creative and wanting to put your stuff out right away. I guess you have to remind yourself that you do need to kind of edit or refine it, but we definitely like to put that finished product out. But I've been itching, like, damn it, dude, I want people to hear this so bad. So
Yeah.
it's tough.
Same.
Yeah.
Yamero, almost.
Yeah.
Almost. Well, on that note, anything else you guys want to share before we close out?
No, I mean, I don't
Not
think
really,
so. Really,
yeah.
just like we've mainly wanted to come in and chat a little bit about the upcoming album. It's 2026. Hopefully, it'll drop soon. We don't have a date yet, but as soon as we can put it out properly, it's gonna be out. So we're not like holding on to it or anything. As soon as we can drop it, we will, because we are really eager to put it out there. We're just really stoked on it. We're really happy with how it came out, so we want to drop it. But yeah, I mean, just we'll definitely be out there doing live shows again. Hopefully, we can get out of town. We're just hoping everybody comes out, all of our friends, all of our loved ones come out and support us, check our stuff out, check out what we invest our hearts and our lives and a shit ton of money into. Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, man, I mean, that's about it. Just follow us wherever you can, and we won't let you guys down.
Yep. I second that.
So follow their social media, Letters from Wolves. Reach out to the guys there too, and keep up to date with their events and their album drop. Again, thanks for making it out here. I really enjoy having you guys here this second time. But if you guys ever want to come back, the doors are always open.
Thank you.
I just love the dynamic that I see in front of me, for sure. And it's not wordplay either, man. Like I see you guys again, thinking alike and everything. It's a good thing to see. So I appreciate having that here in my room and having that broadcast on my podcast. But it's a good vibe, good energy. I dig it, man. I love it.
Thank you.
So again, thank you guys for making it. I wish you guys the best with everything as far as your music endeavors. And I can't wait to listen to the album, and I can't wait to have you guys back.
Thank you, man.
Oh, yeah.
Appreciate it.
So, and with everybody out there, thanks for watching this episode. Again, follow them on their social medias, and love you all. Peace out.
Peace.